I just had an ADHD week. I don't call them bad weeks anymore. A bad week is when you have to replace an AC unit and a refrigerator all in the same week. Now that's a bad week. I actually experienced that in July of this year, something like that. An ADHD week is when your ADHD symptoms are just not cooperating with you. And I know you're asking, when do they ever cooperate, right? But I'm talking about when they're not cooperating more than usual. And there are 3 takeaways that I took away from this week. That's why they call them takeaways, I guess. Anyway, there's 3 points that I wanted to share with you guys that I realized throughout the week that I think is important and something I got to keep in mind, and I'm thinking maybe you do too. Number 1 is it's okay to have an ADHD week because it's kind of like having an off day or week. Everybody has them, so it's okay. Do not be too hard on yourself. Number 2, think more of the positive aspects of things than the negative, especially when you're going through this ADHD week. I'll get more on that in a minute because I think that's a little bit more important than the first one, almost. I don't know. They're all equally important. Number 3, don't do anything drastic. And I'm talking about changing your ADHD systems and hacks that's been working for you for quite some time, or even changing medication, thinking that, the medication is not working for you because you're having a bad week or an ADHD week. So don't go do anything drastic. So let me explain these 3 tips that I've come to realize throughout this week. Number 1 is just like having a bad or an off week, like everybody else does. But usually when everybody else has a bad day or an off day, it's because of a reason. A car broke down on the way to work, or you're in an argument with your significant other, a best friend, something along those lines, and it keeps going over in your head, and that's throwing your day or week off. There's always a reason for it. And I've never understood why I can't have the reason of my ADHD symptoms are just acting up more than usual. It's a reason just like the car breaking down, right? So I've come to realize that I'm allowed to have my off weeks and off days as well, and I'm going to take them because I don't see a difference in my ADHD symptoms being the reason or the cause of my off week than your car breaking down or argument with your significant other or best friend. Number 2, think of the positivity when it comes to a lot of different things, especially if you're going through this ADHD week. Think of what went well with you. See, in my experience, I believe that society has kind of groomed us or conditioned us to focus more on negative aspects of things than the positive. It's kind of like I bring home a report card with 3 A's, a B, and an F, right? That's never happened, all right? The F's, definitely, but the 3 A's and B, never on the same report card. So I kind of want to make that clear. But let's say I did bring home a report card like that. Most likely I am getting grounded, disciplined, and lectured on that F. And the A's and B is not even mentioned too much. And if it is, it's more of in passing rather than that a boy type of thing or a praise type of way. We think about negativity more than we think of the positivity. So throughout this week, I was thinking of what went well for me. And I realized that it's very difficult to kind of notice my emotional regulation before it actually happens. And this week I just felt off. So I went to my family and I told them, I'm kind of feeling a little off this week. So if I snap at you, or if I get into an argument with you, or I'm just kind of frustrated for no reason or something small, I apologize. And I apologize right off the bat. And it made it a little easier for me to focus in on regulating that emotion because my family was more understanding if I did snap at them or if I did start an argument over something small. It's a huge win for me. It might be small to other people, but it's definitely a win for me. So think about the positive things that may have gone on throughout the week. Another positive thing that got on throughout the week with me is I was able to at least be a little productive. It wasn't like my executive function shut me down. I was able to still push through and do the best that I could. It's just I wasn't doing as much as I would normally do or even wanted to do. So yeah, it's just an off week. So yeah. Number 3. Don't do anything drastic. And the reason why I brought this up is because my first instinct was to go to the drawing board, take all of my systems and hacks that have been working for me for quite some time and throw them in the trash. I shouldn't go changing things until there's a reason for me to change something. It's kind of like a professional baseball player. When a professional baseball player gets on base 9 out of 10 times, but then he plays that one game and he strikes out every time he comes up to bat, he doesn't go back to his hitting coach to change everything about his swing. He'll look at it and see what went wrong, maybe some things he could improve, but he's not going to change the whole thing, right? So I shouldn't sit down on an off week and change my ADHD hacks and systems that have been working for me for, the past few months. It doesn't make any sense. Let me write it out, do the best I can, and see what happens in week number 2. I'm trying to be patient before I start changing things. And I understand being patient, having ADHD, it doesn't really go well together. But in this situation, you kind of really need to be patient. Be as patient as you can. If it goes into week number 2, 3, 4, now something maybe needs to be changed, possibly medication or even just an ADHD system and hack. If you're still here, give me a thumbs up in the comments and leave a comment about, whether or not you've had ADHD weeks and if you actually feel you deserve to have those off weeks. I'm hoping you guys are still here after this ramble because I'm not too sure I would be because I feel like I've rambled on quite a bit. So hit the like button, it definitely helps me out. And I will see you next time. Hopefully on a better week, So yeah. Things are getting better, I'm coming out of the slump. Yeah, I'll see you next time.